Okay, here's a video related to the performance of the computer using different PCI Express slots. So this motherboard has two PCI Express slots, one down here where the video card is currently inserted, and another one, the shiny one, up there. Okay, and this lower one has a lower speed, PCI Express 4 times or 2 times speed, and that one, the one on the top, has 16 times speed. This one has either 4, either 2, depending on whether you insert a small card there into the PCI Express 1 times slot, such as this small one. If you insert one, then the card is using 2 times speed. If you remove it, it's using, this one is using 4 times speed. And if you insert it up there, then it doesn't matter whether it's inserted or not, it's running this one at 16 times speed. Okay, so here's a chart. I was analyzing performance difference between the higher position or the lower position of that card. Here we have frames per second. The higher the frames per second, the better. Let me show you the program. Is this one, Unigine Tropics. Okay, and I changed the settings from here. I changed the anti-aliasing to 8 times or off. I used DirectX 11 or OpenGL, and I left it on the default resolution 1920 by 1080. Okay, and the difference is not big whether you use the PCI Express slot on the top or the lower one, especially on this BenQ monitor, which is running at 60 Hz, so it's not able to show more than 60 frames per second, and I'm not even reaching that level. The lowest frames per second that I got was 77, so basically the difference is not visible. Using OpenGL, the performance was always lower here also. DirectX 11 yields better performance, here it's higher also. This side used anti-aliasing 8 times, that's why the frames per second are lower, but of course the image is nicer here. And with anti-aliasing turned off, you have higher frames per second, but the edges are not that beautiful. The red one is the 2 times slot, which is the lower one. The 4 times slot is the blue, that's the lower one also. And the 16 times slot is the green, and the difference is not big at all between a 2 times, 4 times and a 16 times slot. Okay, now I moved the graphics card to the slot on the top. That piece of wood is only for support because I did not mounted this holder element there. And of course there is no sound when the card is in the lower PCI Express slot. And I used that number, the FPS number, for the tests. And here's an example using CPU-Z. Let's go here to mainboard. So the graphics card was running at 2 times speed out of 16. That's because it was inserted into the lower PCI Express slot, and another smaller PCI Express 1 times card was also inserted. Okay, now the card is removed, this small PCI Express slot, and thus the values are different. Before we had only times 2 here, now it's times 4, and here also times 4. Now the graphics card is in the slot on the top, and thus the speed is a bit higher. So here in GPU-Z we can see that it's 16 times and 16 out of 16 in CPU-Z also.